Hello, I want to walk you through a harmonic dictation. And for the purpose of this exercise, of course, feel free to look at what I'm playing. I will play it in the key of C major, and listen very carefully. So, depending on the size of your screen, you can identify the pitches, but make sure you concentrate on listening. But I will walk you through this. So the first time I'm playing it, you just have to listen and take as much in as you can. And the most important goal is to identify the tonic. So you want to identify the tonic the first time I play it. Na, here is the tonic. Na, 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 na. And it's very good to actually vocalize. It will help you in identifying other things. The harmonies. So in a harmonic dictation, of course, the main goal is to identify the Roman numerals, but ideally, you can also notate the bass line and the soprano line, or either or both. Anyways, so one of the strategies is to think about harmonic function, and maybe we can identify three main harmonic function. One is tonic, and possibly tonic substitute. The other one is predominant or subdominant, and but as a general category, so all predominant harmonies. And the other one is dominant. So dominance would be a Roman 5 or Roman 7. A tonic would be the 1 chord. A tonic substitute can be the 6 if it comes from 5. And all other chords would be predominant chords or subdominant functioning chords. So if we just play through this and identify it, it's like this. Tonic, predominant, predominant. How do I know those are predominants? Well, because it's not the tonic, because I try to keep the tonic in mind, and it's not a dominant. That means it's not a chord that wants to resolve. Even if later in a more complicated progression we include secondary dominants, this is not predominants are not chords that want to resolve, right? So tonic, starting over, predominant, does not want to resolve, predominant. This has a lot of tension. This wants to resolve. It's a dominant chord. But it didn't resolve to the tonic. It resolved to a tonic substitute, which, of course, is in almost all the cases, in the majority of the cases, a Roman 6. So Roman 6. Anyways, so tonic substitute, and then is not a tonic, does not want to resolve, must be a predominant. Same, also predominant. Sounds unusual, must have some pitches that don't belong to the scale, so non-diatonic pitches. But it does not want to resolve, so must be a predominant functioning chord. But then goes to, has a very strong need to resolve, must be a dominant functioning chord. All right, another strategy is to focus on the chord quality. So we are in a major key. What is very important is that we know what chords on which scale degrees are what quality. So one chord, 4 chord, and 5 chord are major chords. the 6 chord, the 3 chord, the 6 chord, and the 2 chord are minor chords, and Roman 7 is diminished. And of course, we can have some kind of non-diatonic or chromatically altered chord. So we'll have to watch out for that too. Anyways, this is our tonic, so this is 1. So this main quality of this chord is major, but it has a little bit of a minor quality to it, and that is because it is inverted. It's in first inversion, and sometimes it's mistaken as a minor triad, but it's a major triad in first inversion. The next one has a more of a minor quality to it, although it's not pure minor like this, but because it's in first inversion, and sometimes it may be mistaken for a major triad, but it's a minor triad in first inversion. And then we already identified this as the dominant, so it must be major. And then that's probably the purest form of a minor triad. And we know that if we don't resolve the dominant to the tonic, but to a tonic substitute, then must be Roman 6, which in a major key is a minor triad. And then we go to very clearly major, so probably in root position. And then, now I heard the bass stayed the same, but the quality changed slightly, so probably this is a minor triad in first inversion. And then this is a major quality, but this is the chord that has some chromatic alterations in it, which has still the same note in the bass. And then this has a strongest need to resolve because it's a major minor 7th chord. So as opposed to the triad, this is, it has a stronger need to resolve. It has a more rubbing in it, rubbing in terms of the harmonic tension that wants to resolve. And then it resolves to a major triad, which is our 1 chord. And finally, if we can identify the bass line, that will help us immensely, especially when we have inverted triads. 1 chord, the first scale degree in the bass, so this is in root position. So it went a third down, must be the 6th scale degree in the bass, and then went a third down, must be the 4th scale degree. A second up must be the 5th scale degree, that's our dominant. That's our tonic substitute, our 6th chord, and it's in root position. The bass went a step up. Almost always in the deceptive progression, both the 5 chord and the 6 chord are in root position. Occasionally it's slightly different, but in most of the cases they're both in root position. And then the bass went a third down to this major triad. Then this is our minor triad, probably in first inversion. The bass stayed the same, still 4th scale degree. And then stayed the same, 4th scale degree. Major quality triad that we identified of having chromatic alterations, 4th scale degree in the bass. And then bass went up a step, 5th scale degree, that's our dominant 7th chord, must be in root position. Falling 5th down to the 1st scale degree, to the tonic. So anyways, with that information, we can put things together. Now, if that didn't help, or if you hear the soprano better, you can try to identify the soprano instead of the bass line, except the soprano doesn't really give away the inversion of the chord. But you can always ask, if you identify a certain pitch, you can ask, is that pitch in that Roman numeral? That is a very important question. Is a certain pitch that you identified, whether bass or soprano, or even if you hear an inner voice, which is usually more difficult, is that pitch included in what you think the Roman numeral is? So you match the pitch with Roman numeral. You can also match, or you need to match the quality of the chord with the Roman numeral, and you need to match the harmonic function of the chord with the Roman numeral. And if that's not enough, if you can't finalize your Roman numerals with that information, you can also try to identify the Do-T line, which basically means you just sing Do or T into the chord and try to listen whether it's included. And the only chord that it does not contain tonic or T, Do or T, is the Re chord, which is the Roman 2, or some other chromatically altered chord. So if I would do that, Do, this is a Do chord, it has Do in it, either as root third or fifth, it has Do in it. And Do, this has Do in it. Do, no, does not. T, no, does not, must have Re. Yeah, that must be a Re chord. And then T, this is a T chord. Do, this is a Do chord. This is a Do chord. Do, no. T, no. Must be Re. So a Re chord, and then Re, no. Do, no. T, no. None of those work. So this is our chromatically altered chord, a major triad with the 4th scale degree in the bass, must be a Neapolitan 6 chord, right? Neapolitan 6 chord. T, this is a T chord, our dominant. Do, a Do chord. But that doesn't work for everybody, and you have to practice that for a while to be able to do that, to sing into it and to listen. But in my experience, what works best for students is usually the chord quality, the harmonic function, and the bass line, and sometimes the soprano instead of the bass line. So anyways, the progression was 1 in root position, 4 in first inversion, so Roman 4, 6, 2 in first inversion, 2, 6, 5 as a triad in root position, 6 in root position, 4 in root position, 2 in first inversion, the Neapolitan 6th chord, so that's a major triad built on the lowered 2nd scale degree in first inversion, Neapolitan 6, 5, 7, 1. So now that doesn't work all at once. You have to practice it many, many times to get this right. It's perfectly fine to use your instrument and to try to play pitches into it to hear if they're included. That will actually help you building this repertoire of harmonic hearing, repertoire of pieces where you can match a certain type of sound with a certain harmonic function or Roman numeral. So have fun practicing.